In just 3 minutes, you can completely change how you react to stress, anger, and chaos. I'm going to show you the exact 3-step protocol that neuroscientists use to control emotional responses in real time. This isn't about suppressing your feelings. This is about mastering your nervous system. By the end, you'll have a framework you can use today in any high-pressure situation. And if you stay until the end, I'll reveal the one mistake that keeps most people trapped in reactive patterns for life.
Welcome back to Deeper Dudes. But first, let's talk about why you keep losing control in moments that matter most. Someone cuts you off in traffic and suddenly you're screaming. Your partner says something minor and you explode. A work email triggers you and your whole day is ruined. Research from Harvard Medical School shows that the average person experiences 27 stress-induced reactions per day, and 89% of them are disproportionate to the actual trigger. But here's what nobody tells you. You weren't taught how to regulate your nervous system. Society just expects you to handle it. What a load of crap. So when you lose your cool, you don't just feel the anger or stress, you feel shame, like you failed at basic self-control. I know because I lived it. I once threw my phone across the room because of a single text message. Sat there staring at the cracked screen, realizing I had less emotional control than a toddler.
That moment made me ask, what if the problem isn't my emotions, but my complete lack of a system to process them? But emotional control isn't about willpower, it's about physiology. And here's exactly how to master it. Strategy 1, the physiological sigh. Stanford neuroscientist Andrew Huberman discovered that a specific breathing pattern can deactivate your stress response faster than any other technique. This isn't regular deep breathing. This is a double inhale through the nose, followed by a long exhale through the mouth. Here's why it works. When you're stressed, the tiny air sacs in your lungs collapse slightly, reducing oxygen exchange. That signals your brain that you're in danger, which amplifies stress. The double inhale reinflates those air sacs. The long exhale activates your parasympathetic nervous system, your body's calm-down signal. It's not psychology, it's pure biology. Here's how to use it.
The moment you feel your heart rate spike or your jaw clench, stop whatever you're doing. Take 2 quick inhales through your nose. Think of it as a breath on top of a breath. Then exhale slowly through your mouth for twice as long as the inhale. Do this 2 to 3 times. When I started using this, I tested it during a heated argument. Felt my chest tightening, that familiar rage building. Did 3 physiological sighs. Within 30 seconds, my heart rate dropped. I could think clearly again instead of just reacting. The argument didn't escalate because I had a circuit breaker. Small interventions create massive shifts. This is where real control begins. And once you can regulate your immediate stress response, the next strategy helps you prevent reactions before they even start. Strategy 2, the 3-second gap. Between stimulus and response, there's a space. In that space lies your power. Most people collapse that space to 0. Something happens, and they react instantly. No gap, no choice, no control. But neuroscience shows that creating even a 3-second delay between trigger and response dramatically increases your ability to choose a better reaction. Your prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain responsible for rational decision-making, needs about 3 seconds to override your amygdala, your emotional panic button. Here's the system. When something triggers you, whether it's a comment, a situation, or a thought, pause for 3 full seconds before responding. During those 3 seconds, do the physiological sigh from strategy 1. This doubles the effectiveness. You're both calming your body and buying time for your rational brain to engage. Then ask yourself one question. Is my reaction solving the problem or feeding it? This isn't about suppressing your response. It's about choosing it. I used to fire off angry emails within seconds of reading something that pissed me off. Every single one made things worse. Now, when I feel that impulse, I wait 3 seconds, do the breathing, ask the question.
80% of the time, I realized my initial reaction would have been destructive. That 3-second gap has saved relationships, business deals, and my own peace of mind. The gap is where wisdom lives. And this leads directly into the most powerful part of the system. But first, let me share a resource that's helped thousands of people implement these exact strategies. Before we go any further, I want to pause for something important. None of what we've been talking about matters if we don't have the energy and clarity to actually implement it. We all know what it feels like to wake up exhausted. No energy, poor focus, and zero motivation. We also know what it feels like when we get good, restful sleep, targeted therapy, and the right supplements. I've personally tested more things than you can imagine. I'm like your personal guinea pig.
Everything I have listed in the description below is science-backed and extensively tested. And if you grab anything through my links, you'll be supporting this channel at zero cost to you. Thanks for taking a look. Now let's get back to it. If this is helping, please hit that like button so more people can find this when they need it most. And drop a comment. What situation are you going to use this in first? I'd love to hear your experience. Now here's the truth about emotional control that changes everything. The reason most people fail at managing their reactions isn't because they lack discipline. It's because they're trying to control the wrong thing. You can't control your initial emotional response. That's hardwired. A threat appears, your amygdala fires, stress hormones flood your system. All of that happens in 200 milliseconds, faster than conscious thought. But here's what you can control, what you do in the next 3 minutes.
Research from the University of California shows that emotional responses follow a predictable curve. They spike fast, but they also dissipate fast if you don't feed them. The average emotional hijacking lasts between 2 and 3 minutes if left alone. But most people don't leave it alone. They ruminate, they justify, they escalate. And a 2-minute emotion becomes a 2-hour, 2-day, or 2-year pattern. This means you don't need to prevent the emotion. You just need to manage the 3 minutes after it arrives. This is where Strategy 3 becomes life-changing. Strategy 3, the tactical redirect. Once you've done the physiological sigh and created the 3-second gap, you need somewhere to redirect your activated nervous system energy. You can't just suppress it. That's like trying to hold a beach ball underwater. Eventually, it explodes. The key is channeling that energy into something productive immediately. Here's how.
Within the first minute of feeling triggered, engage in a specific physical action that requires focus. This could be 10 push-ups, a 1-minute wall sit, gripping a stress ball as hard as you can for 30 seconds, or even intense cleaning of one surface. Why does this work? Physical exertion burns the cortisol and adrenaline flooding your system. It gives your body what it's preparing for, action, but in a controlled way. And focused movement requires just enough mental attention to interrupt rumination. The special forces use a version of this. When soldiers experience acute stress in the field, they're trained to immediately engage in a tactical task. Check equipment, clean a weapon, inventory supplies, something concrete and physical. It prevents the stress from spiraling into panic. When I crashed my car last year, minor accident, but I was furious at the other driver, I felt that rage building, did the breathing, created the gap.
Then I got out and did 20 squats right there on the side of the road. Looked ridiculous, but by the time I finished, the adrenaline had burned off. I could handle the situation calmly instead of screaming at a stranger. That's tactical redirection in action. Now here's the thing most people miss. These 3 strategies work individually, but their real power is in the combination. When you stack all 3, you create an unbreakable protocol for emotional control. Something triggers you. Within 1 second, you notice the physical signs. Tight chest, clenched jaw, racing heart. You immediately do the physiological sigh. 2 sharp inhales, long exhale. Your nervous system begins to calm. You create the 3-second gap. You don't react instantly. You ask, is my reaction solving the problem or feeding it? Then you tactically redirect. You engage in 1 minute of focused physical activity to burn off the stress chemicals. From trigger to control, 3 minutes.
When you combine all three, the physiological sigh gives you biological calm. The 3-second gap gives you conscious choice. And the tactical redirect gives you a productive outlet. This is how you achieve true emotional mastery. Not by never feeling triggered, but by having a bulletproof system for what happens next. And here's the deeper truth. Every time you successfully use this protocol, you're rewiring your brain. Neuroscientists call this self-directed neuroplasticity. You're literally strengthening the neural pathways between your prefrontal cortex and your amygdala. Over time, your default response shifts from reactive to responsive. The gap gets easier, the calm comes faster. You become someone who doesn't lose control, not because you're suppressing emotions, but because you've mastered the system.
Drop a comment, which strategy are you starting with? Number 1, the physiological sigh. Number 2, the 3-second gap. Or number 3, the tactical redirect. And be honest, what's the situation where you lose control most often? Well, that's it. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. If you found it helpful, please be sure to give it a like and maybe even subscribe to Deeper Dudes. And hit the notification bell so you don't miss any new videos. It all helps the channel more than you know, and it also tells us that we should make more content like this. We post videos every other day that tackle real challenges men face. Remember, struggling doesn't make you weak, it makes you human. The fact that you took time to watch this means you're ready for something better. Thanks again for watching and for checking out all the amazing products in the description below. They could jumpstart your healing journey. Catch you in the next one, Deeper Dudes. Until then, keep learning, keep growing, keep thriving.